the guise of patriotism, which will lead to more violence.
Bruno Rodriguez said that the Trump administration seeks to take relations with Cuba back to a path of confrontation to satisfy a small minority of extra right-wing, ultra-right-wing circles in the U.S. and a frustrated and aged minority of Cuban origins in Florida. He recalled that two-thirds of the U.S. population and the Cuban-American migration, the Cubans living in the United States, support the lifting of the blockade and normalization of bilateral ties between Cuba and the U.S. Then he rejected President Donald Trump's recent comments in the U.S. saying that in order for the blockade to be lifted, Cuba needed to introduce internal changes.
Cuba will never agree to conditions or anything being imposed of this order, and we remind the President and his ambassador that this focus, which was implemented by 10 or so of his predecessors, has never worked, and neither will it ever work in the future. He will be one more president implementing a policy that means a return to the past.
Well, we're listening to the translation at the UN of the Cuban foreign minister's speech this Wednesday. The minister renewed Cuba's willingness to move forward in the relations with the United States. He said Cuba and the United States can cooperate and coexist, respecting their differences and promoting everything that benefits both nations and people. But that it should not be expected that in order to do that, Cuba made concessions inherent to its sovereignty and independence. Then he specifically commented on the effects of the U.S. economic circle against Cuba.
The blockade is the biggest impediment to the economic and social development of our country, and the implementation of the national plan, which is consonant with the United Nations 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. It is the main obstacle to the development of Cuba's economic, commercial, and financial relations with the United States and the rest of the world.
Well, that was Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez speaking to the United Nations. Actually, we're listening to the translation of that speech.
The voice of the translation in English. Of course, Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez speaking just before the vote, which was an overwhelming majority of the nations, 191 member nations, voting in favor of Cuba's resolution to lift the blockade.
Well, we've tried very much in a nutshell to put this for the listeners for Havana Cuba. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Haban. And you've tuned to Radio Havana Cuba. Time now for some great Cuban music. Here's Habana de Primera. Me dicen Cuba.